We do have some unfinished business with college basketball. As I mentioned, we started with 68. We are down to 4, and it's the usual suspects. 4 number 1 seeds, first time since 2008. We get that much chalk. Interesting kind of Sweet 16, Elite 8. I will get to all of that. Also, I've been been saying we a lot already, a little behind the scenes. I recorded about 20 minutes of this and realized that, no, I just wasn't recording after all. So during that, I was saying we a lot just because out of habit. But Raider Jim will be back next week. So if you do hear we, that's just Freudian slip or just me not being very smart, just kind of going through the motions. But we're going to be talking about college basketball and looking back on the Elite 8 and the Sweet 16 region by region. Then, of course, breaking down the Final Four and possible championship matchups that we have. But before I get into that, the coaching carousel does seem to be kind of winding down. As the last big domino or the last big job opening that needed to be filled, of course, was the Villanova job. And the reason it probably took so long is they were just waiting for the Maryland Terrapins and Kevin Willard to be eliminated and their season to end, and for him to, essentially shake hands and move on. Obviously, that was a bit of a rocky end. There are a lot of reports about team dinners he missed, and even before that, some comments from the coach about maybe the lack of funds in the athletic department. I think there are other words that were used, but you can go find that. But at the end of the day, Kevin Willard is at Villanova. And of course, that opened up the Maryland job, which looks a Sweet 16 team and a pretty big basketball power, at least, especially in that area. They go to Texas A&M and they bring Buzz Williams back to the Beltway. Of course, Buzz Williams, his kind of springboard, or at least after the Marquette situation, headed to Virginia Tech. Incredible run there with the Hokies, and then went to Texas A&M. He goes back to the Virginia area, or at least the Beltway area. He'll be there with the Maryland Terrapins. So best of luck for both of those, especially to Kevin Willard, of course. Myself, big Villanova fan, Philly school. Got to get them back on track because Kyle Neptune, great guy. Really nothing bad to say about him person-wise. Unfortunately, he just couldn't get it done at Villanova. So time to find something new, and hopefully Kevin Willard is the guy. Also, we saw, of course, here locally, the UCSD Tritons have an incredible run to the tournament, nearly took down Michigan, but a valiant effort. The kind of the side effect of that success, unfortunately, is some of the bigger schools look around and say, hey, I like what y'all are doing down there. I'm going to take this guy. And that guy is head coach Eric Olen. He will be heading to Albuquerque to take control of the New Mexico Lobos. Of course, Richard Pitino, very good run with the Lobos over the past few years. He left. He is now, so it's time for Eric Olen to take control in New Mexico. Again, it's kind of unfortunate for UCSD, but this is the trade-off of success, of being Cinderella. Some people like what you're doing and have more resources than you, but I do think UCSD will be in good hands with Clint Allard, who has been someone that has been on that staff for 11 years, and most notably, obviously, the associate head coach, essentially the head coach in waiting, or definitely the number 2 in that situation. He will take over. I think that's a great hire. Obviously, he kind of very similar to Brian Dutcher to Steve Fisher in terms of the associate head coach. I think he's just going to carry over exactly what Eric Olen did, what made UCSD so successful. And Clint Allard is a UCSD alum and had a very storied career with the Tritons. Obviously, back when they were D2, or at least definitely not at the D1 level. But his name is scattered throughout the UCSD basketball record books. So congratulations there. One little note here. We are 2 days removed from April Fools. The Buzz Williams story going from Texas A&M to Maryland did drop on April 1st. So, but again, we're 48 hours removed and no one said anything. So I'm going to assume that everything's on the up and up, but I do just want to put that safety net there. It did come out on April Fool's Day. And yeah, you don't want to get got that way when it comes to social media. So